Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khush aamdeed, ji aya nu, goeiemorgen.
Heragale, ni hao, tuna shumme, washmale, Ohio Gonzaimes, Guten Morgen, Hola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifahal, Hale Shamachatore, Alan Wasalan Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Ishpata, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV1 and are watching well this morning alongside the very fabulous, the very amazing, the very stunning Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello Shiza, how are you today?
I'm absolutely great and thank you for the kind words. Early in the morning, how are you feeling? Why
I
are
am
you laughing?
absolutely perfect. Well, the only reason why I'm laughing is that, ladies and gentlemen, whenever I ask this question from Shiza, how are you? The next thing is, I'm fine, what about you? So, you
It's
actually need to
basic
give me like
ethics
space for 5 seconds, 6 seconds to think
to
of an
think about
answer.
how you are.
But I
Okay.
think I feel very great as well. Weather outside, ladies and gentlemen, is superb.
It's
I know that it's
beautiful.
not weekend, but for all those people who actually want to travel, I think today is the good day. Because
Absolutely.
it's now going to be rushy up on the hills too as well. And well, other than that, I think since the vacations are over, so roads are a bit rushy in the cities too
Yeah.
as well. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, I think it's about time that we talk about weather updates.
Yes, absolutely. Let's take a look at
Let's
it.
do that. Good morning. Rise and shine. Let's do it. Okay, so mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country. However, light rain with light snowfall over the hills is expected at isolated places in Malakand, Hazara Division, Kashmir, and Gilgit-Baltistan.
Partly cloudy weather with chances of drizzle at isolated places in Kohat and Rawalpindi division during this period. And also continental air is prevailing over most parts of the country, and shallow westerly wave is likely to affect northern parts of the country today.
Wow. So see, light snowfall, I don't think that it'll be dangerous for anybody. So if you want to travel, travel. And I don't think that there'll be any road blockages as well. But yeah, if you've got work, I cannot help you. So it's all right. Just look outside
It's
the
just
window,
another sad day
hold
for
your cup of coffee, and just take a sip away and fly away. That's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, time now to get started. But before we get started, I think it's about time that we wish a lot of people birthdays too as well. So a lot of people have actually written to us on our page. So I think that it's about time. I don't know whether we should be happy on birthdays or not.
I feel like we should be, because you're sort of celebrating the fact that you are part of this world. I mean, other than the fact that I know what you're talking about, you just have like 1 year less in your life and it's very sad. It's not sad. I mean, you have to celebrate with the people you love, right?
Well,
You're there
no, no,
for
no.
them, they're there for you, so why not?
That's not my concept. So,
Okay.
birthdays, obviously you can celebrate and people do that too as well. But I think that doing something for people and then celebrating will give me more pleasure. I think
Okay.
that's what I'm talking about. But,
That
ladies
makes
and
sense
gentlemen,
too.
it's different with different people. And so I think it's about time that we wish them. So that's
Absolutely,
what we are
yes.
deciding mutually?
Yeah, let's
Okay,
do
so
it.
let's get started with birthday wishes. Happy birthday to all of these people. Ladies and gentlemen, a very happy birthday to Mr. Wajid Ghafoor, Ms. Shabnam Shuaib, Fazil Wahid, and Usman Ali Reis. Happy birthday. May you have many more. Make sure that you look after your parents, your family members, as they do when you came into this world. Okay? Please give back to them. Yeah.
A very happy birthday to all of these people, and thank you for sharing your days with us. We absolutely love celebrating your days with you.
Yeah. And now today we have a twist too as well.
So today is the 16th of January, ladies and gentlemen, and today happens
Let me do that. Let me
Okay.
do that. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, okay, go ahead. So ladies and gentlemen, they are who?
They're my parents.
Wow.
And today is the wedding anniversary, their 26th wedding anniversary actually,
Wow.
which is an amazing thing for us because alhamdulillah for both of them being together for us.
Wow,
So a
that's
very, very happy wedding anniversary to both of you, and I hope you
Don't
stay
make 'em
together
cry.
always. I know.
Don't cry yourself too as well. Uncle and auntie, a very happy wedding anniversary. May you be together for the rest of your lives and up there in the heavens if it's your choice.
Ameen.
Okay. So once again, a very happy wedding anniversary, ladies and gentlemen. And time now to get started with what we wanted to discuss.
Okay, so I need to talk about something. Lately,
ahead.
whenever we're talking about women empowerment and
Yeah.
all those, feminist
Yeah.
shows, unfortunately, or I don't know, you happen to be the scapegoat over there because you're probably the only representation of a
Yeah.
man in those shows. And today, it's going to be on the contrary, though.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have this reservation, and I do agree with you that our society is sort of building up on feminism a lot and sort of, neglecting the importance of males in it.
Yeah.
And I mean, we cannot totally ignore the fact that a society can run without males and, girls run the world. It's true they do, but, by coexisting.
Exactly. But, before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, there's one point which I needed to put out there too as well for all those people who are out there. And that was that recently we did a show and there were a couple of women over here and we were talking about women empowerment. Now, as a matter of fact, when you are the host of the show, you actually have to walk or probably look into each and every dimension. May it be against you or probably, you know, it's in your favor. So what happens is that as an anchor, you need to ask questions where you actually define the line that, okay, that's where they can probably go and that's where they cannot go. I mean, you do not give them a choice. So they have their own opinions, just like today as well. Our guests over here are going to have their own opinions. But this lady, what she did was that she actually picked up a few snippets where she actually didn't show what I was trying to say, and then she called it that, you know, that it was a sexist joke and whatnot. So please make sure that whenever you see something about Well This Morning, make sure that you go to our YouTube channel and watch the entire show so that you can probably look after it as well. And then a lot of people do come up with campaigns just because of the fact that they want, I do not want to say that, but they do want a little bit of publicity and then attaching it to somebody else's name. This is what happened with what Shiza told me. There were people posting videos, so it's their own opinion. We do not actually advocate about anybody's opinion over here. Our job is to put the right thing right in front of you.
That's true, but that does not matter because we do know how balanced and what a great host you are. So
Thank
it's
you
okay.
very much.
So I think it's now time to take a look at a small promo, a video or a trailer of this campaign that we're about to talk about. And without giving anything away, let's take a look.
So hashtag Time to Think, ladies and gentlemen, coming your way. Let's see what it is. Good morning.
मर्द हूं।
हाँ करना सिखाया
ना कभी सीखा ही नहीं।
अब बस।
मर्द कभी रोता नहीं है।
मर्द को तो दर्द नहीं होता।
मर्द बनो मर्द।
मर्द की जुबान का पास होता है।
घर के बड़े हो,
तुम पर बहुत जिम्मेदारियां हैं।
उसके बेटे को देखो,
उसके शौहर को देखा है?
बाप हूँ,
भाई हूँ, बेटा हूँ, शोहर हूँ,
इंसान भी तो हूँ।
देर से क्यों आए?
उसकी तरफ क्यों देखा?
जरूर कोई चक्कर है।
मर्द तो होते ही ऐसे हैं। अब बस।
क्या बनना चाहते हो?
नाई बनोगी?
एक्टर बनोगे?
सिंगर बनोगे?
लोग क्या कहेंगे?
मियाँ कोई ढंग का काम करो। सारे खानदान की नजरें तुम पर हैं।
मैं भी बच्चा था, घर पढ़ाने आता था।
वो प्यार नहीं था, अब्यूज।
बीवी पर हो या शौहर पर?
तशद्दुद होता है।
नौकरी ढूंढो,
फिर शादी, फिर जिम्मेदारी,
फिर बच्चे,
फिर उनकी जिम्मेदारी।
खर्चे कौन उठाएगा?
पसंद की शादी, खानदान की नाक,
मूछ की इज्जत,
रख रखाव,
भरम।
बस यही है मेरी जिंदगी।
अब बस। मर्द हो या औरत,
दर्द तो दोनों को होता है।
अब वक्त है सोचने का।
इट्स टाइम टू थिंक।
What an inspirational video, ladies and gentlemen. I need to be very honest over here. For the very first time on our show, or probably in the entire of Pakistan, somebody's actually raised their voice to talk about men facing or probably having troubles in their life, and then probably they do not even have to talk about it because they are supposed to be superhumans. Well, we are not. I'm going to cry today. But ladies and gentlemen, other than that, you know, the people who are actually behind this campaign, I would love to introduce to you, you know, these amazing people who came up with this idea as well. It's their brainchild, and I think it was the need of the hour too. But now over here, this is the crux. Now, what they say is that they're not saying that, you know, women empowerment shouldn't be there or, you know, they're against feminists or anything else. What they believe in is that both the genders working together is actually going to be very beneficial for the socio-economic development of the country. And I believe in it too as well.
Same here,
because
I
the
do
global
too.
population of females is 54% up till now. So imagine that in days to come, probably it might go up or might come down as well, but the world economy won't work if both of us are not going to work. So on my right hand side, ladies and gentlemen, he's an amazing gentleman. We have been working together for a longer period of time on several different projects. He's the one who can actually suggest any kind of you know, thing related to productions, and then probably he can even help you out if you do not have anything on you. So, you know, you just call him and then you're like, okay, Hassan bhai, you know, this is something which we need. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, he's a filmmaker himself. And if you're going to go to his Facebook profile, he's the guy who's actually got the best family life as well. He's none other than Mr. Hassan Naeem from Blink Studios. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you? Blink Motion Pictures.
Walaikum salam. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much for
And
joining us.
For the lovely introduction as well. And Facebook is not reality. So the campaign you introduced it just started a month back, and me, Umar, and a couple of our friends was sitting and looking at different content coming out from the female side, a lot of things which were saying suppression and how they are being abused and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But interestingly, that there was no male perspective to it, and we
Yes.
wanted to add sort of a balance to it. And it started as a sort of an answer to the campaign. Then we started to tweak the message, and what we realized is that there's actually no communication. Mostly representing men or their sentiment. As Shida said, that it's about balance,
Yeah.
and that's very important. So we took the message from there and just developed it, and a lot of friends wanted to be part of it.
Yeah.
A lot of females were also interested of being sort of a part of it. But
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We're not in a hurry. But ladies and gentlemen, moving on, alongside Mr. Hassan Naeem, we have actually been joined by a person who's a very regular on the show too as well. Whenever it's Eid, whenever it's something where we actually need to show charming faces. I mean, he's the guy whom we actually call upon the show too as well. He's a film actor, he's a musician, he's a great guy, and then he's an entrepreneur too as well. I go to his salon as well. He's none other than Mr. Alamdar Khan. Hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, and thank you for having me at the show, obviously with Hassan Bhai and obviously Umar. It's a very interesting subject that we're here to discuss.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to keep out all the basic necessities of me being an actor, because my idea of being a part of this campaign was to obviously fill in the gender gap that's mostly missing.
Yeah.
I agree, there's a lot, some people would probably narrate this as maybe as a negative or maybe as a sentiment that's anti-feminism, but it's not. Obviously, it's more about equality, because feminism itself talks about being equal.
Yeah.
So yes, we'll definitely continue with that. And how are you doing today?
Absolutely perfect.
You look
You
pretty active today.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I've tried going to the gym, for the last 4 or 5 months. I think I've lost a few pounds as well, so it doesn't weigh me down now. So I'm up in the air. All right. Alongside Mr. Alamdar, ladies and gentlemen, for all those faces which we have seen probably in the clip as well. He's one of them too as well, and I think that he's done a great job as well. If you were shooting it, because you are a creative director yourself for a private channel, he's none other than Mr. Umar Gulzari. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining us. Why are you so shy early in the morning? I mean, what?
I'm just like that.
Okay, that's great. That's
That
great.
explains
I
as
mean,
well.
I want you
But
to be at your comfort level. It's great. We're just going to get our conversation started in full throttle now.
Okay.
Okay, so Hassan Saab.
Okay, I have a question. I'm
Okay,
so
you have a
sorry.
question? My
Yes.
throttle's gone now.
Okay, perfect. So just lately we came across a similar campaign from females where they were reiterating upon the fact that learn to say no. Did that inspire you?
Aur jahez lena band karo.
yeah, those are two different campaigns.
No, I'm
but
talking about-
the Encarco
Yeah.
Angeline's campaign. Yes, that's and we intentionally, Omar and I, decided to keep it very similar in tone and in sort of, because initially, being from the creative and media side, you want to make something which is unique.
Right.
And we had some ideas of doing it in black and white or something like that. But we wanted the message to be very similar, so it is received in a way that actually the same kind of importance should be given to this.
Right.
So in step one, so we actually went ahead and did a sort of a thematic similar production. And but the message there was slightly different. But towards looking at this campaign, it's actually a social message. It's not about men's choice or women's choice. It's about realization of an subject, overall bigger sort of a picture, that there is less of a balance and understanding of all the pressures or abuse or suppression which goes on towards the males,
Right.
which we feel it isn't. But if after this campaign, a lot of feedback which came to me from all quarters is that there has been so many complaints and so many people trying to come forward, but there is no platform as such, because women cause from the last almost 70 years,
Okay.
rather from 1960s, has been actually coming mainstream, and then it was a lot of funding was behind it as well, and there are a lot of organizations which are actually becoming quite active. We are a small group of friends, and you're just trying to voice something which we generally feel, I hope this actually snowballs into a sort of an social opinion, and then you
Right.
start even realizing it. You know, there is actually a side to it that
Right, I
has to
absolutely
be-
hope the same for you as well. But now be careful, very careful, in fact, choosing the words that I'm going to put out for you. Does this mean you are not a feminist but an egalitarian?
Okay, no, I think before you answer that, first of all, we need to
It's a
realize.
safe word.
No. First of all, we need to realize whether being on the other side or being on this side is actually going to have an effect or not. I think this is something which we forget half of the time, that okay, whether somebody's a feminist or not. I mean, does it make a difference? First
I'm
of all?
not. I'm just saying it's just a normal word. I'm just saying you can and you cannot associate yourself with it. So
Yeah.
that's my question to you. Are you an
I'm not
egalitarian?
challenging your question, we're
It's-
just saying
okay,
my-
I get it.
As you put it, be very careful. So
Yeah.
I can, like the Americans say, I've claimed the fifth. Just get away from it. But apart from actually taking positions, it's in everybody's thought process or life stages. You have different actually opinions, and you have a different role in different sort of a situation. Sometimes you are more of a feminist, and sometimes you are not, and sometimes you are have to represent your own feelings or the feelings of your group. So I think this message, which conveys more of a balanced sort of a thing. So we are coming from that actually playground right now, that it should be a balanced approach towards it.
Very well. I think that perfectly makes sense. Now coming on to you, Mr. Alamdar. I'm sorry I'm not letting you speak.
It's all
but-
right. See, I'm actually trying to give a live example of how two genders can work together
Wow.
in
You're
a very
keeping-
peaceful
Keeping
manner.
that balance, yes, we can
Yes.
see. Yes.
So, you have a lot of things on your plate already, and then you wanted to be a part of this campaign as well. Did you really sort of relate to it? Did you really want to be a part of this because you wanted to, put the message across and tell people that I've been through this and I don't want this to happen anymore for men out there?
Okay, that's an interesting approach to begin with. I'll tell you how exactly this, the entire subject that was actually told to me, and I thought that I'll do it. Okay, first of all, we need to have a very clear definition of feminism.
Right.
What is feminism? Because people usually think, for all the females out there, obviously they have been suppressed for long period of time. We all know that, right? So feminism comes with the idea of bringing that gender gap on an equal level.
Okay.
That's what feminism
Right,
is. If you see men and women both together as one, that's feminism. Feminism is not something only, because any suppressed race, gender would definitely come up with something, and that also includes, even feminism even includes transsexuals as well. So you have to keep that that's a very clear thought process for
Right.
first, because people think that maybe feminism is only focused on females, and So when this was told to me, so the crux of the entire thought process that we came up on doing this video is basically against the patriarchal norms of the society. Because when we are told, when I'm told, yeah, bachpan mein kya rote nahi hai, you don't have to
You're a
cry
boy.
because you're a boy.
Yeah.
Like, seriously?
Right.
Because the point is, we have emotions too.
Absolutely.
So the whole idea of doing this entire video is
Or
to
campaign.
bring out the message to everybody out there that we are all humans.
Right.
We have emotions. We can love. We can hate. We can do whatever we want to. So keeping that in mind, obviously. I'm sure I would have had instances in my life. We all do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you, being a female, you would have instances, so many
Right,
instances in your
right.
life. So I think bringing out something to tell people that okay, we've had this and this and this through society. So let's make a better society for the future generations.
Yeah. Right.
For instance, if after doing this video, maybe someday, if Hassan Bhai passes a message to his son on being a nice kid for the future,
Yeah.
so he's going to represent, how things would be in the future. So the whole idea of the campaign was to fill in the gender gap. Yes, there was no voice for us, and the voice is not an anti-feminist voice. It's a voice that is providing the equality for both genders, in
Amazing.
short. So that's how it should be, I guess. And for all out there, I'm sure, because we generally tend to see men. Yesterday there was this campaign that we were just talking about, which was again about the toxic masculinity that is, pushed into people, pushed into men, that oh, you're a guy, you can do this. Come on, man, don't be a girl, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Terms like these actually are that they are, they bring in the negative side. And why bringing or pushing in the negative side? The whole idea is, give us together as one can do so much. So the voice of all the men out there, and specifically through us, is focusing on the gender gap and keeping them all equal.
Right, so let's achieve everything by peacefully coexisting
Yeah,
and
exactly.
living above the gender roles that we have.
Which is why I want to move on to Mr. Umar over here. Now, Umar Sahab, my question is a bit different. Now, Hassan Sahab over here said that, we have been talking about women empowerment, feminism and whatnot since 1960s and, till now. Now, I think that they've taken a lot of time and then a lot of investment and then a lot of hard work went into the line where we actually educated our masses that, the women should actually go to school, or probably there should be equal education or inclusive education for both the genders or even transgenders as well. Now, once again, we come up with a campaign where we, one way or the other, are actually trying to promote those traits of men, which unfortunately was a victim of all of that toxic nurturing we got from our parents or from our family members, because that's
Or from the society, yeah, from
or
the
that's the
society, yeah.
stereotypical
Yeah.
mindset of a boy or a man.
Yeah.
Now, how do you think that we are actually going to create an equilibrium in between both the genders? Because that's the thing which we are talking about. We want the society to be inclusive. How do we do that?
Basically, same thing. When Hassan started with saying we got inspired by watching In Car Karo by Nateen Malik. We are making a lot of videos on women empowerment, which is actually the need of the time.
Yeah.
But we're ignoring it in the process. Okay, we are ignoring the men's side of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to incorporate. We need to have both campaigns and run side by side to show we are both existing equally in the society. Okay, it's not just the woman side in the picture. It's also the men's side in the story as well. Again, even men are victimized in the society as well. So, I think.
So what are we trying to say? Are we trying to say that men can cry? It's okay for men to cry. I mean, if it's okay for a man to actually go up and say that I feel pain, or probably I'm hurt, or I'm down. I need somebody to pick me up. Things like these. I think that it's going to comfort me. Just talking about these
Why
things.
not?
It's
I mean,
comforting me.
If I can just make a point,
Sure.
that it's not just about actually men saying what they can say. It's actually sensitizing the public at large and the society. Actually, the thing is that a lot of pressure is created, for females and how their roles are in lives, and what is expected and what is politically or socially correct for them. Similarly, a lot of pressure is created for a boy who's young, growing up, but that actually pressure is not recognized. So this campaign is more of actually putting that forward, that realize the pressure which actually causes a lot of life trauma in actually boys or young men or any age men. A lot of different kind of decision makings are done. The pressure could not just not be from the society. It could be from the parents. It could be from the mother, from the father, or whatever. And that sort of a thing actually changes somebody's life.
Yes.
And that's what we keep saying, that women are actually cornered into, pushed into sort of a things which they don't want to do. They want to have the freedom and they want to have an equal sort of a thing. A lot of opportunities are taken away from men in the similar way. So that is actually, that's the message from the video. You can say a lot of pressure. We see a lot of young generation going into habits of alcohol or drugs and something, and that's actually a very clear representation of the kind of pressure they have from the family or the system or the school system or the society or expectation, and they just want to, as we say, blow some steam, and you just go and rebel, and that's at every economic and social level of from low down to middle class to high class, and you will see it all across. And we
Go on.
And we have seen a lot of situations where these kind of things actually turn into a more of an aggressive behavior, or it goes on to a negative side and people actually go suicidal or something like that. And these kind of things are not even registered. It's there was a very interesting social experiment on YouTube. You might have seen it. It happened in Germany, that a couple was walking down a street, and a girl starts hitting the man who's walking beside her with a purse, and then he slams into the window, tries to strangle him, and everybody's laughing, and he must have done something, and and this keeps happening for 30-40 seconds, and everybody's looking at it, and they just go away. And the same experiment was repeated 15 minutes later, and this guy comes and starts an argument and then slaps the woman. And immediately 7-8 people, stand up and say, "What are you doing, man? You can't hit her," and this and that. So that's actually synthesis of sort of how it is perceived that is violence and this is not. So actually the violence was there for both cases.
Right.
You will not even realize it before somebody is shot that a woman can shoot a man.
Exactly.
But you would understand if a man takes out a gun, he might kill her. But if she takes it out, so we as society would say, she's just saying it, venting it out, and she doesn't mean it.
Yeah.
So that's actually has been done over the last 50 years. That's how you perceive it.
Yeah.
So perception is reality. So that's what we want to put out, that, have an understanding that it's an equal sort of a thing, and, we are all humans. And if you keep pressing somebody, if they are in a miserable position, psychologically speaking, they will start creating misery for other people.
Yeah.
And that's what has happened, that women are suppressed because, if you go into psychology of it, it might be because men feel suppressed. That's why they are acting out. So that could be one of the things. So
this is the reaction we want.
So I'm sorry, you're the only one here representing the female gender, but I'm sure she's very capable of it.
She is indeed. Now, Hassan bhai, there's one more thing. Now, let's get into the detail of it as well. And since you've hit the nail on its head, so now what happens is that whenever we talk about Pakistan particularly, so within the rural areas or within the cities, which are urban as well, which we may call, the socio-economic development is very uneven. Then there are feudal mindsets, then there are tribal mindsets and whatnot. We have a lot of issues. So do you think that time to think, #time to think, is actually going to change the mindset of those men within those feudal areas, tribal areas, or wherever the socio-economic development is very uneven? Because then, what you do is that obviously, when you do not have money to eat, you cannot think about all of these campaigns, right? So how do you think that we can be at par to think about all of these things probably positively?
Yeah, that's a very interesting thing. I don't think your social campaigns like these or a mindset of actual equality will have a direct impact on the economic sort of a thing.
No, the sole reason I asked you this question was, I'm coming, because you said that from the last 50 years now, if a woman's going to hit a man, it's not actually registered as violence, right? And if a man, God forbid, does that, nobody should be hitting anybody in the first place. But if he does that, it's violence, right? Yeah. So that means that their 50 years of hard work has actually had an impact on the society on a very macro level.
Yeah, that's the perception makes difference. That's what we are saying, that the perception is that starts creating the reality for you. Not saying that this perception is wrong. A lot of women are actually, because they are physically weaker, so they are more vulnerable. And a lot of time, and it's not just physical sort of vulnerability, it's actually economic vulnerability. Women, because they don't earn that much, and they are not given that economic opportunity, so they are at a disadvantage. That's why all the campaigns and all the men also stand behind it, a lot of educated men, and some, it's about power and control. And you understand that if you have a boss who's making maybe $1 million a month, and you are making 50,000 rupees a month, so he at a better economic position will start to intimidate you, and that's the reality of it. And similarly, female and male, because generally if you look at international level numbers, probably men will be making twice the money which women make at almost all similar positions. So that's a disadvantage, and that's where all the pressure.
And there is a reason for that, by the way. Yesterday I was watching this documentary that actually tells us why female in the long run do not make a lot of money. Initially,
because men suppress them?
No, because of the whole. Because I'll tell you what. Because, for instance, both of them started graft together. Once they eventually get married. So once they get married, then it's imposed that the motherhood will be only provided by the mother, not by the father. And then she obviously gets suppressed into just handling the baby and stuff, and then she takes the leave for 2 years, 3 years. And in those 2-3 years, the guy reaches the director level and she remains at the managerial level because of the fact that, you know, she was off from work.
Right,
And then she wants to come back into that same ball game again. So obviously we still need to think and we still need to understand the idea that yes, we can't deny the idea of the suppression that women are going through, but the whole idea of the campaign was yet again, once again, was for the equality of both the genders. Because yes, like Hassan Bhai said, there is a reason, I mean, like, there is a thing called the vulnerability part, which I agree, which everybody else agrees. We go through the crime history or the crime that, you know, have been committed are mostly obviously through men's side. That's we're not denying that. But the point is, what we're looking at is that, you know, we as men are human beings too, and we have issues. We go through, and you know, for the toxic masculinity that has been taught to us by the elders, by the society. And yes, society is from the elders, fathers, mothers,
Everybody.
you know, everybody. So so basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring that gender-free idea, because, you know, when even in Pakistan, if we specifically talk about even if the trans, so recently we've started seeing that, you know, they're getting jobs now. So the point is, slowly and gradually things are rolling in all the ball games. People have actually started realizing the value that, you know, transgenders are human too.
Exactly.
That, you know, slowly and gradually they are trying to get their rights.
Right.
We as men do have our rights, but the point is, this specific part of the emotional content that we are missing is something that we need to talk about. That, you know, if I want to be an actor, if I want to be a singer, if I don't want to be a father now, I will not be a father now. If I don't want to be an actor now, I won't be an actor.
If I don't want to get married, I don't want to get married. Yeah.
So the point is, what we were doing was basically against the societal norms that have actually pushed each and every one of us, not me, not you, everybody.
Exactly.
I mean, like male, female, be it Shiza you, be it Shizad you. I'm sure we all go through the whole idea. Okay, Shiza, no, for culture, you're not going to do this. Shizad culture, you're not going to go out.
Right.
And you know, that's the society.
Yeah.
We make the society. From this, like you said, would it impact somebody in the feudal side?
Yeah.
It's a social media, it's a social world. Everything is on the phone now, right? Somebody in that village, if gets to see this video, some kid who gets to see this video.
And who can relate to that too as well.
Yes. If one kid gets rebellious after seeing this video and says that, you know, I want to be somebody who will cry. I will be that somebody who will dance. I will be that somebody who would sing.
Yeah.
Simple. Our message is there.
Perfect.
So it is a powerful medium. It is a powerful message. The whole idea is how you out there are going to conceive it. How would you want to accept it? How do you want to receive it? Some people would, like I said, receive it with the idea of that, you know, okay, it's against feminism. No, it's not against feminism. It's against equality. Feminism is equality.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's the simplest way that I could put it in.
Amazing.
Sorry, guys, there was a long
love
way.
it. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
absolutely.
Long debate.
Totally
Yeah.
admire your understanding of this whole case. So just for the sake of creating an equilibrium, I have to put this out to you gentlemen over here. So since you mentioned that women, upon getting a bit of economic freedom, have a total different perception of life, which I do agree with, of course. So I was reading an article which said that women from the subcontinent who are educated and are working are not getting married because they have just put sort of a lock to that door that we are sufficient for ourselves. Now, in this sort of a gender role change, are you guys okay with it? Would you be okay if a woman says that, you know what, I'm going to be my provider? Is that okay?
Yeah,
That's
we're
cool.
cool with
Absolutely
that.
cool.
I'm
Sure,
cool.
absolutely
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely cool.
Wow.
What
Yeah,
about
that's,
you?
I will be
that's
absolutely-
easier said than, you know, actually implemented.
Exactly,
I get what she's saying, that, you know, men are scared of economically empowered women. There's a very famous sort of a quote that all wives say that, you know, your money is our money and my money is my money.
My money.
You know, so
तुम आओगे क्या
so this-
लाओगे हम
this-
आएंगे क्या खिलाओगे.
so that's the mindset which actually females have to also will actually start to realize it in a while, and you know they will also understand that, you know, they have a team player. Right now, when you know you get a solo flight, you become like a jet pilot and you want to fly all over the world and, you know, not have responsibilities. So that's a part of evolution, I think.
Yeah.
But that will go away, and you know a more balanced approach will come in.
Inshallah.
Right.
But once the end, ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap up this segment, Umar Saab, any final words? Hashtag?
Hashtag time to think,
Time to
soch ko
think.
badlo. Yeah.
And I think it is about high time, ladies and gentlemen, that we start thinking this way too as well, to make our society inclusive. But please make sure that you give each and every other person out there his or her space, or even transgenders. Do not poke your nose into every matter. But thank you very much for enlightening us on
Thank you
this
for having us.
wonderful,
That was
amazing
really
campaign.
great.
We would definitely want to be a part of it. We'll retweet, we'll hashtag and whatnot.
Definitely.
Thank you very much once again. It was wonderful to have gentlemen. Well, I
So
think
what
that
we
we're
learned- yeah.
definitely going to have them again on the show too,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, with a little bit of women's perspective on it too. So probably we can have both the sides to the picture, and then picture will be more clear. It's clear so far
Absolutely.
too as well. Please make sure that you remember that the hashtag is time to think.
And stop stereotyping, stop generalizing, and start realizing. Stay tuned. We will be right back with another segment with Lubna, of course. Good morning.
Passion for polo will be the highest on the world's highest polo ground. Chandur invites visitors to experience a traditional polo tournament between the teams of Chitral and Gilgit. The tournament is held on Chandur Pass, the highest polo ground in the world, at 3,700 meters above sea level. The first time a polo tournament took place on the Chandur Pass was in 1936. It is a place unique and exotic in itself, surrounded by some of the most spectacular mountain scenery in the world. The event marks the annual rivalry between the teams of Chitral and Gilgit.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for everybody who just got tuned into PTV World. You're watching World this morning alongside Shahzad Khan and Shiza Hashmi. Today, whatever we were discussing earlier, we do not actually have time to give you a recap. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have to move on to our lifestyle coach. She's all set. She's all ready, looking stunning. She's none other than Miss Lubna Khan Faraz. And she's going to talk about how to leave your sugar addiction and what kind of effects it's going to have on your body. So, shoot.
So good morning, everybody. And today I want to talk about sugar and the sugar addiction that everybody has, sugar cravings, sugar crashes. So what sugar actually does, and what I want to clarify, is that it's not the sugar that you add in your food. A lot of people like ask me, oh, is it the sugar that I add in my tea or coffee that's bothering me? Is that how I get diabetes or anything like that? That's not the case. It's the added sugar that's been around in the foods that we're consuming, unfortunately. And about, like on an average, there are people that are taking 22 teaspoons of sugar daily, which is absolutely insane. And you should not be taking more than, say, like 8. So foods that have them hidden in there, foods that you're consuming daily, your juices, your cereals, your sugary breakfast protein bars or anything like that, they all have hidden sugars in there. Your tomato sauces, your canned foods, everything that you're buying boxed has sugar additives in there. So that's something you definitely want to avoid. Names that you should be looking out for on your labels includes anything ending with an OS. So like sucrose, dextrose, anything else with an OS, lactose is another thing. And also you want to look out for any nectar or any kind of syrup that's in there, malt syrup, peach nectar. These are all sugar additives. So it's something that's not naturally already in the food, but it's been added in there to give you that sweetness effect, which is not really good for you at all. And the other thing I want to talk about is how can you, and everyone that I talk to, why do you fall out of your diet? What happened? You were doing so well, but you all of a sudden were falling out of your routine. And they're like, oh, I started having cravings. I started craving sugary stuff. I started wanting desserts or something. So ways that you can get rid of that. I want to talk about taking in more protein. So I'm talking about taking in lentils. I'm talking about taking in chickpeas, lean beef, chicken. Take in more protein. When you take in more protein, you'll be more full and your brain will not crave sugar. Adding in more fiber that I talk about, so adding in things like chia seeds, adding in things like figs, add those things in there and you will not be craving sugar as well. Adding in healthy fats, so like coconut oil, you want to add in, if you can, avocados. It will help your brain think and feel satiety instead of feeling starvation or going towards something unhealthy as well. And another thing that I want to say is rethink your snacks. So you want to definitely rethink those protein bars or those sugary coffee. Even when we go and buy coffee, you want to look for that hazelnut flavor. That hazelnut flavor or the vanilla latte you're buying does have that high fructose corn syrup in there, which is so dangerous and it's full of so much sugary content in there. That's the same thing that's added into diet sodas as well, or sodas in general. So you definitely want to be looking out for that. Try to tell them, oh, can I, instead of having 2 pumps, have 1 pump instead. So instead of like, you want to reduce your intake of these things. Now, not sugar intake is not bad, but you definitely have to limit your intake. So that's the things you want to look out for.
Okay, that's amazing. But having said that, it's not that easy to actually get rid of all of your sugar addictions, because I think last night I had a fudgy brownie too as well, and I had 2 of them. It's hard. So
It's
we
difficult.
probably need to talk about alternatives.
Yeah,
So
the
what can we
alternate-
eat?
yeah, definitely.
Which is actually going to sweet taste or taste sweet.
So a very good alternative is dates. So dates are excellent because they have that nice potassium, good mineral, like calcium in there that comes with the sugary content as well. So you want to go towards natural sugars. Honey, raw honey is another great thing that you can do. Has that sugary content and it will definitely kill your sugary cravings. Another trick that I have is that every time you crave something sweet, instead go towards something sour. So go towards something like lemon or a probiotic like yogurt, and that will kick away. So if you're craving a brownie at night, try having a lemon water instead. And the best thing you can do is if throughout the day you're taking lemon water with apple cider vinegar, you will never crave anything sugary. So that's one trick that I do.
Okay, so you also mentioned that in this case you have to start taking more protein. So that you can sort of create a balance. Does that mean we have sort of a leeway for more sugar if we start taking more protein?
No, the protein signals your brain in a neurotransmitter way that you will not need as much sugary content in your body. So the protein will help you feel full and satisfied so that you're not turning towards something sugary or craving something sugary.
Right.
And then the fiber is the actual thing that makes you feel more full. So you want, and because it stretches your stomach line, right? So your stomach feel like it's full. So those 2 things combined with a healthy fat. So instead of your body burning sugar all the time because we're consuming so many sugar things, if you're taking in healthy fats, your body becomes a fat burner. It's kind of the same concept that being said around in the keto diet. So you consume more fats, so your body becomes a fat burner.
Oh, perfect, perfect. So also for the young mothers out there who have babies and toddlers, all of them love chocolates and anything and everything sweet. So what can we do about that?
So substitute it. So if you like chocolates, go towards a dark chocolate. I recommend about...
For kids?
Yeah, for kids too. It's excellent. It's so good for your brain, so good for your body. You want to go towards a 70% higher cacao. So you want to go towards those kind of alternatives. You can, if you're baking, go towards baking with, there's something called coconut sugar out there that we don't really know about. You can bake with that. It's the same thing. 1 teaspoon of white sugar, same thing as coconut sugar. But coconut sugar is broken down very differently in the body because it's a natural derived sugar from a food. But white sugar, the way it signals your body, it's like you eat it and you're like, oh my God, it's dopamine release. You're like, oh, it's a reward. So you want to stay away from that and you want to go towards a more nutritious thing. Maple syrup. You want to look for grade B and a darker maple syrup as well, which is an excellent substitute for sugar as well. Even when you're baking, when you're cooking, even your desserts like kheer and stuff, instead of having the white sugar, why not put in coconut sugar, honey, or maple syrup? Same sweetness levels, but you're going in towards something healthier substituting.
Perfect, perfect.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for
Thank you very
informing
much
us.
for being with us. It was lovely to have you, Lubna, and thank you very much for sharing how we can actually get rid of sugary addictions, ladies and gentlemen. So for all those kids who actually eat a lot of chocolates, probably you need to convert them to having dark chocolates. And dark chocolate is a very acquired taste, so please make sure that you do not buy them in bulk, okay?
Absolutely.
So for all those people who want any more advices, probably you can write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name of
Well This Morning.
On Twitter.
Well This Morning without a G.
On Daily Motion and YouTube.
Well This Morning.
And the fabulous repeat is going to be at
5 past 11 p.m.
tonight. Till the next time, 1, 2, 3.
Good morning.
Good morning.